Hello, Python programmers. Welcome to CIT-95, Fall 2025. This is an online course. It means it is asynchronous. It means you don't log in at particular times, but it is an online course. We never meet. All right. Um, I will send out announcements at least a couple times a week. I will respond to some of your discussions, maybe not all of your discussions, but it will be interacting with you. And for this to be an effective online class, you just need to do the same. So I used to have like a Discord server and have students log into that, but now the college is doing a thing called real and sustained RSI, real and substantive interaction, I think. Anyway, we're supposed to be showing evidence that we are interacting with our online students. So, and Discord doesn't count. So that's why we don't have a Discord server anymore. But we'll figure it out. We'll build a sense of community on our Canvas shell like we did 100 years ago, right? So anyway, this is our class. This is a ZTC class. That means zero textbook cost. We do have a nice textbook here. Here's the PDF of the textbook. If you want to, you can actually give this textbook to your favorite AI and then ask your AI to summarize it for you and to help you with it. As far as AI and programming goes, we're in this weird era now where programmers are, first of all, in the next 5 years, I think there's going to be more programmers needed to program the latest versions of AI. I don't know what's going to happen after that, but I don't know what's going to happen to me after 5 years. I mean, I can be replaced right now with AI, but I'll be around even if AI could do a better job teaching this class than I could for at least 5 years. But anyway, programmers are safe for a while, but there's this new thing. It's called vibe programming, and it is you don't even code anymore. You just give prompts to. I'll just use ChatGPT as an example, but it could be Gemini, it could be DeepSeek, it could be Grok, could be whatever. And I don't know. I'm just not comfortable with the vibe programming. You still have to understand programming fundamentals to get something done. So, having said that, let's use ChatGPT or your favorite AI assistant to help you get your environment set up. But let's not use ChatGPT to write our programs for the first until midterm. Okay, so let's try to get through a fairly ambitious object-oriented program. It's called the Zookeeper's Challenge, and it does file I/O. It uses Python object-oriented programming techniques. We create classes, we create subclasses, and if you can do that, without just sending a prompt to ChatGPT, that's great. You'll understand not only Python, for the most part, you'll understand the data structures of Python and how to use the language, but you'll also understand fundamentals of programming, for goodness sakes, right? So anyway, and then we'll start experimenting with vibe programming, and I would like us to at least create a chatbot. We'll create a chatbot, then we'll create an OpenAI chatbot, then we'll create a open source chatbot, then we'll create a chatbot with LangChain, that's with RAG, retrieval augmented generation. Then we'll create I've been experimenting with a little translation program, or I guess foreign language studies. So that's a good program. So you'll end up with, after the midterm, maybe a little bit after the midterm, after you demonstrate to me that you understand programming concepts, and in a general sense, you're not afraid of seeing the syntax of Python, and do that and be able to explain Zookeeper's Challenge program in a YouTube video, then we'll go on and we'll start experimenting with, this vibe programming in Python. And anyway, that's our plan. All right. So till then, if you want to start reading, I have the HTML of our textbook down here, and I always have things that you're going to do, and then you're going to put them into this remote repository, remote GitHub repository, which I have all set up for you. I use GitHub Classroom. All you have to do is click this link, find your name, and then boom, you have a remote repository, and you can just push. You don't have to do it at command line. You can do it any which way you want to, but just get the code, all the scripts that you write, get them into this repo. I'll demo those in a minute. This is going to be a long intro video, I sense. Maybe 15 minutes, okay? So hang in there. Anyway, so Module 1 activities, it says do this, that, and the other. Complete the intro discussion. This is important. It's just a discussion. You've done this in other classes. Go to the module, find the intro discussion, and follow the prompts there. I would like you to create a YouTube video, and I'll do that for you as well. Install the free version of PyCharm. That's called the Community Edition. Again, if you want help with that, ask your favorite AI assistant, and your AI assistant will do that. I mean, I think if you just Google Community Edition of PyCharm for Windows, you'll get to the right place. Nonetheless, I give you a nice video. Watch the Tech with Tim video on installing PyCharm a couple times and get comfortable with your programming environment. PyCharm automatically sets up things that are called a virtual environment. So you're going to hear that phrase a lot, virtual environment. It sounds kind of scary, but it's not. But I will tell you, when we start using these AI APIs, they require a particular version of something, and if you have a particular version of something in a virtual environment and you try to do something that doesn't like that particular version in that virtual environment, then boom, your program breaks. So that's really the hardest thing about what programming is about, is staying organized. I think human programmers are still going to be needed to stay organized and tell the AIs what to program and where to program, and just to keep these versions straight. It's like where you're storing your code and things like that. And someone needs to build the AIs, right? So anyway, so that's what you do need to install PyCharm. I already have it installed. Use Git Bash. Git Bash is a Linux shell. It's like a hybrid Linux and command line, because you can use ls and dir. That will give you a listing, whereas a true Linux shell like terminal, ls works but dir doesn't. So if that doesn't mean anything to you, it's okay. You'll get the hang of command line and Git Bash. So install Git Bash. It's easy. I just validated that on my old 5-year-old in my old office at Fresno City College here, computer. So works fine. Watch the Giraffe Academy video in bits and pieces. Don't do it all at once. So after you install the Get Bash, you will notice that, and if you just started reading the HTML version, this is nice. Why should we program? But when we get down here, you must first install Python software on your computer. Again, ask for help from AI, but let's see, I would tell you exactly where to go for that. All right, it's python.org downloads. Here we go, python.org downloads, boom, that's it. All right, so it detected that I was on the Windows. I do not have this version. I don't want to break anything, so I'm not going to download it. But anyway, this is how you download it, and it's an exe file, like I say, on a Windows machine. If you're have a Mac, then find the latest. Ask your AI what the latest greatest version of Python for whatever you're using, Mac, M3, M2, whatever, PowerBook, I say that? MacBook Pro. So, all right, anyway, so you see here that it says it has opened the Python interpreter. So what that means is that here, I'll show you in command line. In command line, I do have Python installed here, and it is the path to Python is installed in my environment variable. Again, the first couple weeks is about just getting comfortable with directories and paths and your environment. So just figure that out. Like, we can use AI to figure that out. Use AI to explain to you, where your downloaded programs are going. But nonetheless, I know that I have Python on this machine. Python. Oops, I think I need Python 3. Let me see what version I have. All right, there you go. So I have Python 3.10.11. So if I type in Python, watch, my prompt will change to those 3 greater thans. There you go. And now I can do some Python coding, right? So this is an interpreter. So this just does this right here. I mean, I can create a variable, create another variable. I can output the sum of them, num1 plus num2. All right, so it printed a 4. But, nothing is saved here. That's what the interpreter is. So when you see these 3 greater than signs, that's what that means. It means that you are in the terminal. Nothing wrong with being in the terminal and experimenting with, Python. I think that's great. But, to save your file, then this is like the next step. You need to actually write some Python code, and Python code is simply text. And so I just used Notepad here, right? So absolutely nothing fancy. Now here you do have to use proper Python syntax, otherwise your program's not going to run right, and you don't have a IDE called PyCharm to help you out with your syntax here. So I think that's good, right? So if you can write a program like a Python script, and you can maybe just by context to figure out what these are. This is how you make a comment. It's just the hashtags here. These are my initials, right? This is the date, and this is just a line of text here. But I am going to name this file python_test01.py. That's all I'm doing. And then here I did some of the same stuff that you saw me do in the interpreter. Okay, so Dr. Chuck does stuff like this, and then I want to save this. I'm going to save this in this directory called Python demos for fall, and I will save this as cancel. Let's do this first. Control C. All right, file, save as. Python demos for fall. There you go. Look, nothing there. Control V. I think I need to do all files, right? Yeah, all files. All right, so python_test.py. Save it there. All right, so I'm done with Notepad. I'll do this from the command line, and then I'll show you bash shell as well. Right, so I'm on the command line dir t star. So I got all these directories. Here's my directory, Python demos for fall, cd change directory, Python demos for fall. dir, because I'm in command line, ta-da, Python test 01. I think this will work. Type Python_test01 dot. This should, we should see just the Python code that I have. There you go. Here's the Python code that's in there, but I did not run Python, right? I did not run Python. I used this command line script here called type, and I gave it an argument, python_test.py, and so this is the contents of this text file. Now, to get this running, and you'll see this, if I talk fast, it doesn't matter. Just read this. I'm just explaining what will happen when you do what you are reading in that first chapter of our textbook. So, Python. Now I'm calling the Python programming, but I'm going to give it an argument of, guess what? Python_test01.py. Now, if I didn't make any syntax, if I didn't put any bugs in my own program, this should run. It should work. And sure enough, it doesn't. I can only concatenate string, not into string. So there you go. I have to change that. So let me stop and change that. Okay, so the problem is that I teach multiple languages at the same time, and Python is not Java or C++. So I have to cast this. I have to cast these. One more, right? All right, so file, save as plain text document. All right. Yes. Okay, so I had to go through all that. And now I will run this again. Python test. Ta-da! There we go. Sum of 2 and 4 is 6. Okay, so I did all that, and I could do the same thing in the bash shell, or git bash. It's called git bash. So ls instead of, again, dir, it's like a hybrid. Dir works here as well, but I would just use ls. So ls star. I'm in the wrong directory. So cdc, right? Print working directory. See, there we go. ls p star Python test 01. Python demos for fall. cd Python demos for fall. There we go. All right, now Python. What was the name of my? There it is. Python test. Python underscore test 01.py. So Dr. Chuck does stuff like this too. All right, so he just calls Python within his. I think he's using a Mac, so it looks like it. And then for the argument, he gives it the name of the file, name of the Python script, and ta-da, there you go. So that's that. Now, all that, I would like you actually to do that. Just do that, and then you're going to feel like a programmer, and then you can start using PyCharm. Okay? So you start using PyCharm. It's an abstraction in the sense that it has code complete for you and all kinds of stuff. So let me create a new project. Test projects is okay. You know what? Let me put it into my same directory. Python demos for fall, right? Here we go. Python demos for fall. And now I have to give my project a name that'll be the same name as the directory. So I'll call this Hello World in PyCharm. All right, and then that's it. Now notice here, see the Python version 3.11. That is a different version that I showed you, that I used in the in command line and in git bash, right? So that's what I say. For most of the programs we do in CIT-95, it's not going to make a difference between 3.11 and 3.10. But sometimes in your programming career it will. So that's why you just have to be mindful of that. Also, Coda is short for Anaconda. The Anaconda is like a distribution package and is very helpful, is popular, but that will mess you up too sometimes. So I forget what project I was working on, but Conda was messing me up, so I had to go back to, pure Python. So, certainly after midterm, we'll have to deal with that stuff, and that's, why humans are going to be around as programmers, because, it's hard keeping all these versions straight. Anyway, let's just create that. I'll create this in this window is fine. And now let me create a script for this. Python file. Hello world. Okay, so I guess you have to remember what a comment is. But if you, so now that I'm in PyCharm, and PyCharm is really nice, see, it'll do the coding for me. I just had to type in, I just had to type a P. I just had to type a P, and then I press tab, and I have the right command. And I want to print, you can use single quotes or double quotes. I'm just used to using double quotes if it is pure string. I should probably check the Python style for that. I sense it is single quotes, but it doesn't matter. But you can't mix them. And having double quotes like this allows me to put single quotes inside them. Does that make sense? But let's just get our Hello World program done. All right. So this is it. Here's our Hello World program, and then run this in PyCharm. Here's Hello World, right? Pretty anticlimactic, right? So I can do that other stuff too. Let's just do that. Num1 equals 5. Num2 assignment operator 3. Sum of nums, that's another new variable name, assignment operator, watch this, num1 plus num2. Okay, now tell me what I'm going to see here. Sum of nums equals plus, not going to make the same mistake again, right? Cast it and Control C. Watch your keyboarding. Keep your keyboarding to a minimum. Okay, so yeah, what am I going to see here, right? I'm going to see hello world, and in here, this is my output in PyCharm. I'm going to see just hello world, just like that, exclamation. Then this processing is going to happen, and then here's another output statement. It's going to say sum of nums space equals space, and then if I did this correctly, and I know I did because I'm not getting any errors in my PyCharm session here, right? I should see 8. Sum of nums equals 8, right? So let's see. Sum of nums equals 8. So there you go. All right. So hopefully I have, oh, one last thing. Now we have hello world.py, which is in Python demos for fall. Thank goodness I put it in there, but it's going to be embedded in another directory because I created a project and that required its own directory name. All right, so let's just exit all that. Let's say we are done with coding. Now we want to show our professor that we did our homework and we are on the way to being certified brilliant Python programmers. All right, so let's go back to modules. Now the hardest part about this is you have to remember where your code is, right? So what you're going to do is you are going to open up this link that says remote repo, okay? So I click here, find your name. Here's my name. See, no tricks up my sleeve. I did not do this ahead of time. Accept this assignment. And now I have a GitHub repository. All right, so click on this GitHub repository. All right, don't let GitHub scare you. It is just a website. That's all GitHub is. It's just a website. It's a GitHub website with this Dracula style. Here's the README file. This tells you what to do. So I did this. Look, I wrote this. I didn't have my bot write this because I misspelled something. It's probably a good thing to do these days. All right, so it's really simple. Just add file, upload files, choose your files on my machine. Like I say, hardest thing is remembering what that directory was named. Python demos for fall. Oh, here's one. So Python test 01, open. All right, commit. You get a little green square for that in GitHub. That's good. So I submitted that. Fine. Add another file. Upload files. And choose files. I'm adding the other one that I did in PyCharm, right? Which is in here. Oh, it's in this directory. See how the levels go down? You got to make friends with the Windows directory structure in a hurry. And here's hello world.py. Open. And commit. Do not forget to commit. All right, boom. I got credit for 2 commits. And here's my code, right? Here's my file. So that's pretty much what you do. That's how our class works. Okay, class? So, well, 32 minutes. Hopefully you've hung in with me. If you are now hearing this at the end of this, you're going to stay in. If you have just quit and, you drop the class, that's fine. That's fine. You won't be hearing me anyway, but, it's fine. There are other ways to learn, programming. But anyway, if you're here this far, good. I'm happy you're here. I like Python. I used to, 10 years ago, one of my colleagues in the department, was talking about Python, and as a computer scientist, I just turn my nose up at it. It's just a scripting language. But now Python is used like everywhere. It's embedded into Excel, and it is the #1 language for AI development. All of the AI examples have Python. All of the AI API examples have Python. So anyway, now is a great time to be learning Python. Now is a great time to be learning coding with all that AI stuff. And good luck if you want to communicate with me. Send me a message on this right here, Canvas inbox. Do not send me a private email. And I'll create a discussion called Student Study Hall. Oh, I have coffee shop. Okay, that's fine. Coffee shop. I think these reflections are still okay. So we have coffee shop. Oh, it says no longer available. Place where students can ask and answer questions amongst others. Save student space. Sounds good. Available from. Let's see. It's not May anymore. Something weird happens if I do the 12th. See? They have Canvas locked down so that I have to end our class on the 11th. So that's when our class is going to end, class. It's going to end on the 11th, not the 12th. like was published. And anyway, that's my issue with administration control in Canvas. I'm faculty. I should have domain over my own Canvas tool, right? But whatever. Anyway, that's that. All right. So hopefully I have inspired you and not frightened you about anything. Just take your time. Do not let ChatGPT do your work. Let ChatGPT help you install Python. Let ChatGPT help you understand command line arguments and bash arguments and get bash and terminal commands, things like that. So let's do that for the first 2 weeks, and you write 10 programs, write 10 scripts, all right, and then push them all to your remote repository there. If you were a late add and your name is not on the remote repository, it is a little bit tricky for me to add you, but I can do it. So you just have to remind me. Just say, hey, Dennis, just send me something here in inbox. Say, hey, Dennis, I don't have access to GitHub Classroom in the remote repository, and I'll take care of that. All right. Other than that, paka paka, and I'll see you in a week or so. I'll check up on you.